Hello Facebookers. I am 2 weeks in to being 50. 2 weeks and 1 day, actually, to being 50. And it's an interesting factor because we're all like, oh, it's just a number, blah, blah, blah. But actually, no, it's not. It's what it represents, isn't it? A friend of mine was 50 a year or so ago. And I remember he just went on and on and on about it all the time. He just kept going on about, well, I'm 50 now. And it's just like, yeah, I know. And 2 weeks in, I'm understanding. I'm understanding where he was at. Because you start recognising a few things, you know? You start recognising that those priorities that you've been told about, advised about in your life, are true. They're true. It doesn't mean you have to take the advice, like any advice. Oh, look out. Got a duck standing on one leg. That was quite impressive. Landed on one leg and is still on one leg because he's got a broken leg, unfortunately. And they're all waiting for me to feed them. Anyway, you don't have to take the advice. You don't have to take any advice. That's what advice is about. It's like a measurement of your circumstances assessed by an individual that you trust the view of, right? And they give you their best assessment, and then you decide. That's why when you've got an issue or a problem, and you go to people, not just one person. Not always. Usually it's a few people, so you can kind of speculate a little bit more by navigating your way through the advice that you're given. Maybe you'll take a bit of advice from one person. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about being 50. And I am realising more and more that as I was walking here, I was thinking, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal being 50. It's not. The difference is that you are now in a place where when you're in your 40s and 30s and 20s, you believe anything is still achievable. But when you hit 50 onwards, it's a funny feeling. I'm not saying things aren't achievable. Everything is still achievable, absolutely. But you do get hindered, or I get hindered by subjecting myself to believing that some of those things aren't necessarily possible. I've got an example for you. Because you know I'm in, or was, or am, I don't know, in the sort of film production, theatre production stuff. That's what I do. I remember some friends of mine women friends of mine who were getting older, and they were going, I can't play Ophelia anymore, right? As in a young daughter, a princess, right? And some were going, I can't play the Queen anymore, because they were getting on even more, you know, in life. I can't play the Queen anymore, because I've reached that point. And acting particularly is awful for this, because it forces you to recognise what you can and can't do, as in physically. I cannot play a young boy, right? I can't. I don't think. Right? Of course, there's like technology to do all that and everything, but it's recognising with respect to yourself that you are at a position in your life where you can only play certain roles. You can't play those really young roles, unless again technology is involved, and a hell of a lot of makeup. And this is a sort of viewpoint that is taken into life now. It's not going, oh, I can't do a bungee jump, not at this age. But I recognise going into the lake, cold water swimming during the winter. Got to splash first to relax the body into the shock of the cold water. You're 21, don't fucking matter one bit. In you go, through the ice, right? But we have to be aware. I mean, I see people of a certain age swimming in the winter and they've got this inflatable orange thing in case they get cramps or they have some sort of health situation go down. Because as you get older, you've got these possibilities. You have to be a bit more careful when you're walking certain places because it takes a lot longer to heal. If you twist your ankle, if you're 21 and twist your ankle, it heals a lot quicker than when you're 51, right? So this is where I'm at. I'm considering the notion of what I can and can't do now. And as time progresses, I was thinking on the way here, 20, 30 years. 20, 30 years. Maybe a bit more than that. If I'm lucky, if I keep swimming in the lake, who knows? So it's interesting. Age is but a number. Is it? Is it? Peace, Facebookers.